Welcome back.
Hi guys, welcome back to our channel.
Honest Tea Talks.
Yes.
I'm Ronnie.
I'm Ashley. I have the A today.
Every time I introduce myself, I think of the time that I called myself Ashley.
If you are not new to our channel,
Yeah.
go ahead and check out the video. What number was it? What
Oh,
episode?
I think it was like 30. It's the one whose image is the money tree. And we have a blooper at the end.
A great blooper.
Yes.
It is fantastic. Literally, if you hear her pause in the beginning now, like, my name is Ronnie.
Because I have to think about it.
Oh my god, I am Ashley. Welcome back to our channel. Today we are going to be talking about something that I cannot believe
We
have
haven't
not talked about.
Yeah.
It's the craziest thing.
Is our journey.
Yeah.
How we met, how we came to this point
Duh.
of living in San Diego, how we
And
became,
before that,
all of that.
why we started making these videos.
Yes.
It's so funny how we really don't have a video explaining how we even know each other.
Yeah.
And people are probably like, well, I think it's a lot of people that subscribe to our channel know us.
Yeah.
But like the ones that don't are probably like, well, who are these people? Like, why do they know each other? How do they know each other?
Yeah, and I feel like I've known you for so long that literally today I was on my stories like, oh, it's been like 3 years now, but I'm like, wait a second.
It's
no,
not.
it hasn't.
It's totally not been.
No, it's been like a little over 2, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has it?
Yeah, just a little over 2.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
Yes. So I mean, where do we even start?
Okay, I want to ask you. We'll do a little question, like back and
cool.
forth. So my question to you is, when you first met me, what did you think of me?
Well, when did I first meet you?
When you were at Crunch.
But like when
You
did
were
we
front
meet?
desk. Oh.
So we worked at Crunch. Let's
Yes.
start with that.
Yeah.
We both worked at Crunch. She was a personal trainer.
Yeah.
And I was the manager on duty. So I was like in the front desk, kind of in charge of that, and then she was a personal trainer. So in the beginning, I had seen you around, but I didn't really like officially meet you.
Same. Yeah.
I feel like there were certain people I worked with, like I very much like, oh hi, nice to meet you. But then there were certain trainers that I just did not even. I was like, hi, bye. It wasn't like nice to meet you. I'm Ashley. I don't think we ever had that like.
No, I
And
remember going up to her. This is the first time I talked to her because she looks like my cousin's wife.
Oh, I remember that. I
and,
remember that.
I went up to her and I asked her. I was like, "Where are you from? Because you look just like my cousin's wife, like Nicole." And she's like, "Oh, I'm from Miami." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, never mind."
I remember that. That was so funny. I remember that. And so for me, when I meet anyone, obviously I'm a huge vibe person, so I like know off the bat if a person has like a good vibe or they don't. So I obviously have got good vibes, otherwise I wouldn't have talked to you. But what was cool too is that like I'm also very shy, so I'm not gonna be the one that goes up to you. I'm extroverted in the sense that I'm always gonna smile at people.
Yeah.
I obviously work the front desk, so people that walk in, I'm like, hi, hope you have a great day. But I'm never the one to approach people, and I liked that she was the kind of person to approach me because like the fact that she asked, oh, where are you from? I was like, oh, great, okay, now we can have a conversation. Because I most likely wouldn't have gone up to you to talk to you because I just don't do that.
Because most people think I'm mean.
No, and I'm like not that person. I like will open up once someone approaches me, but I'm not the like, hi, well, can we talk and be friends? I'm always like, they're gonna talk to me, they're gonna come up to me, they're gonna come up to me. I never am the one to pursue it.
And I knew she was cool because there was one day she was working out and I saw her. Actually, no, you weren't even working out. I think I saw it.
Right?
No, you were in the training room.
Oh.
But from the back, I could see one of her tattoos of the chakras. And so I asked about it, and then she told me she had all the chakras like down her back, and I was like, oh, that's so cool. So then right off the bat, my higher self knew, okay, she's cool.
Yes.
Like, you know.
And that was super cool for me too because like no one ever knows what my tattoos are. Like unless they themselves, you know, practice it or are exposed to it, which is very rare. Like I feel like now it's more common. But even then, like people don't come up to me and say like, oh my god, you have the 7 chakras.
Yeah.
Some people that really know do, and I have had people do that, but it's not common. And
Yeah.
so it's like, I don't assume that people know, regardless of their religion or how they look. I don't assume people know what my tattoos symbolize because I once upon a time didn't know either. And so it was super cool for her to like, oh my god, have you had this? And I was like, you know what they are? Oh, fantastic.
Even then, we didn't like talk a lot at
No.
Crunch. Like,
Not at all.
I think the most I talked to you one day was when I
remember that day.
I asked her opinion, like, what should I do? Because this guy was really cute in the gym, and I was like, I want to talk to him, but I don't want to talk to him. Like, I was like, I don't know what to do. And then literally it's raining outside, and I see him walk to his car, and I'm asking Ashley, like, what do I do? Do I go talk to him? Like,
and I was like,
next thing I know, I'm running out in the rain, knocking on his window.
She really did.
Yeah.
She really ran.
Nothing came of it.
I was so inspired. I was like, oh my god, she did it. I was hyping her up, and I'm like, but I wouldn't do that shit. I would still be so scared to do it. But she did. You actually went and did it, and it was super freaking badass. It was awesome.
And then I do remember one time Audrey trying to get us to go out once.
Yes, I remember that.
And she's intuitive, so I think she kind of knew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we didn't.
No, and I think also like we were obviously just like everything else in life. Everything's meant to happen at a certain time.
Exactly.
And so I think since we were both on our journeys and we understood that, we didn't push to be friends.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times when we like certain energies, we push it, but we're both not that kind of people. Those kind of people that like push friendship. It was kind of like, oh, okay, she's cool. Like, all right. And then
let me test.
Yeah,
test
the
the water.
waters and then it just kind of like when it was meant to be is when it was supposed to happen. And
Yeah.
I remember I had finally gone from being a manager to being a personal trainer.
And that
And
was
then she was
right when
leaving.
I was leaving. Yeah.
And so I was like, well, okay. You know, like, and it wasn't only her that was leaving, but like a lot of the great trainers that were there that I really loved. Like, it's funny because even Austin, you guys obviously don't know who Austin is, but like, Austin is like the opposite of who I am, and he would be like, stop smiling. You know? Like, but all of the trainers that I loved were leaving, and so I was like, oh great, like I guess we're not gonna build relationships with these people.
Yeah.
But it's amazing how when you're meant to have friendships, the universe will just
makes
align
it happen. Because I was on my way out when
Mm-hmm.
she got certified.
Yeah.
And with me leaving, there weren't any other female trainers except Ashley. So there was 2 clients that wanted to stay with Crunch, and so I was like, okay, well, you're gonna be with Ashley.
Yes.
Because she's the only one I get like good vibes from.
Yeah, and you know what's super cool about that is that like the universe when I was transitioning, obviously I didn't have clients, and you have to like spend time picking up clients and all of that, and I was kind of nervous at first because I was like, how am I gonna get clients if I have no one right now? Like I don't have, you know, a big schedule. Like right now I'm like transitioning to a like nothing, you know, like I had no clients, so I was going from getting a consistent paycheck to like going to nothing basically and having to start from scratch again. But when she came up to me and she was like, oh hey, like I have a couple clients, I was like, wow, like it's so cool how energy works and how like she trusts me with her clients when she's like been a trainer for a long time. She has these clients, and that in itself was like, oh cool, like obviously we felt that vibe within each other too, for her to be able to give that to me, because she didn't even really know me. We didn't have like enough conversation or ever hung out for her to really know that she could leave me.
It literally was intuition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I wasn't a trainer yet, so she didn't really know that I could be a good trainer because I had never really showed my skills. You know, like I didn't. No one had seen me be a trainer yet because I wasn't
That's
a trainer.
so true.
It's
I didn't even
crazy,
think
yeah.
of
Which,
that.
and imagine for me, like that was huge. Like for my career, that was huge because I was like, wow, like this is what I should be doing. Like it was like what I needed as confirmation that it was what I was supposed to be doing. So it was pretty cool.
So then I go off to MaxFit, where I start my independent journey. And I think it was like a month after I left that I messaged her, I think asking about my clients.
It was on Snapchat. We also we had each other on Snapchat.
Oh, we did.
I don't know how
that's
that happened.
right.
That's before. That was Snapchat. Thank you. Yeah, because I remember. So I would post J. Cole's like my favorite rapper, and then I remember you replied once like, oh my god, I love J. Cole. I knew you were woke, and I was like, I remember it, because that's where I was. Honestly, if you message me and you like J. Cole, that's just like you already know it's real because of lyrics and stuff. And you know, it's different, right?
Yeah.
And I remember you're like, I had a feeling you were woke with the tattoos, and I was like, yeah, woohoo!
That's something I would say.
Yes.
So then we plan to meet at Snaps.
Yes.
For breakfast or brunch or whatever. up staying there for what, like 3 hours?
At least.
Yeah, and
At least.
like we didn't even know where the time went. Like
No.
we were just
Literally.
chatting
Yes.
from like one thing to the next, and when we left, we were like, we need to do this again.
Yeah, totally.
And then we did, like a month later.
Yes.
We met up at
It was
Milagros.
Yeah, and it was that. It started being just like every month we had like our date.
Yeah.
We would meet. Milagros became our place.
Yeah.
We did.
And then the first time at Milagros, it was like
The
almost
same.
4 hours.
Yeah,
yeah,
like a long
time.
A long time. And we talked about, what's interesting about it is like
Was
where
that
we were.
the time was that the one right before your first shoot? Your boudoir shoot? That was, right?
Is it? That is crazy. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
It was because I remember.
Because then I went to Hawaii and I was like, oh, I'll see you when I come back.
Oh, that's right.
Right?
That's so insane.
Wow.
What the heck is happening? It's so weird looking back. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what's crazy is that obviously we're not going to go in depth with the conversation
No.
we had, but like where we were at that point in time, I remember our conversation and like what we were talking about and where we were emotionally,
Oh, yeah.
and how invested
Tears
we
like
were.
no other.
Like no other, we really were in this beginning phase of our healing.
Oh, totally.
And it was so cool to have someone that resonated with it. Like
Yeah.
our stories were different, our struggles were different, but still so mirrored. And we
Yeah.
were like, we would kind of bounce off of each other and be like, wow, oh my god, yeah, and then just kind of go back and forth. The flow was
Yeah.
just incredible.
Yeah.
And excuse me. And what was great is that we felt better after each conversation,
Yes.
and that's what was so great about how our friendship started, because it was like we were going through stuff on our own, but then when we would meet, it was like we were having a long conversation and then leaving like feeling better,
Like a breath of fresh air.
a breath of fresh
Yeah.
air. Yeah. And that was really what started that like comfort with each other, to be able to talk about certain things and to be
Yeah.
able to just like heal from these things that are difficult to heal on by yourself.
Yeah.
And so we were doing the healing, doing the work by ourselves, but coming together was kind of like, oh my god, this is what I've
A
been going
release,
through,
yeah.
and we're releasing it and
Yeah.
talking about it and giving each other advice without like dumping our problems on
Yeah.
each other. It was more like, oh wow, like I'm going through this almost the same thing,
Yeah.
and this is what I got from it, and then I'd be like, oh my god, well that's what
Yeah.
I needed to hear, and it was just, we could have stayed there all day.
Oh, totally.
Like,
Yeah.
we just had work to do.
Yeah. And then one of the next times
Mhm.
we went to Milagros,
Yeah.
it was it when you were deciding to go independent?
Yeah. I think it was the time right after,
Yeah.
because I remember I was messaging you and you were like, yes girl, what are you waiting for, just do it.
Yeah.
And I was like, because she was at Max Fit, and then one of our friends who was also a trainer at the gym that I was still working at was opening his own gym, and she was like, I hear he's opening his own gym, but like, what do you do it? Go with him, right? And I was like, I don't know. And she was like, girl, do it, you can do it. Like, if I can do it, you can do it, and just, inspire me to do it. And it's different when you have messages and you're like, yeah, okay, like, I'll do it. But we met in person and she was like, yes, just do it. Like, trust me, I did it, and it's scarier just thinking about it.
Yeah.
And I knew she had done it. I knew the other trainers had done it. And shortly after, I think maybe that week, I did it
I
or
think
something
so.
like
Yeah,
that.
a week or two, yeah.
I became independent, which is so funny because I had no idea that the gym that she was working at was literally around the corner. Literally. Like, for real, around the corner. You could walk,
Yeah.
turn the corner, and
Yeah.
the other gym is right there.
It wasn't just a statement, it was
No,
literal.
it was literal. Literally.
I was like, girl, just
Right
walk
there.
around the corner, I'm right there.
I couldn't believe it because I was already at this gym and I loved it. Obviously the people, they were great, but like, were we making videos already? No,
No.
we weren't. But we were hanging out obviously at that point often. Like,
It was interesting because it was like the second we met, the universe started conspiring to
Mhm.
like get us closer and closer together
Totally.
to like create things.
Yeah, and what was cool is that like we were on this journey that attracted us, and I think that that's what's so important about this video is like not only to let you guys know how we met, but to let you know how the universe is going to align you with the right people too.
Yeah.
Because when you're on this journey and you feel alone and you don't really have anyone that resonates with you, but then you get placed with people that are like either just like you in certain ways, not necessarily in a physical sense, but in an emotional, spiritual way, then all of a sudden you find like your match, your mirror, and you're like, oh my God, let's join forces. And I think that is, my foot is falling asleep. That's the most exciting part about this journey, is that like, yes, we were doing it alone and we were doing it beautifully, but being able to do it together was like even more powerful and more fun. Like, we were growing in our conversations. We weren't just having conversations to hang out as friends. We were like,
and not depleted after either.
No, never, never. It was never like draining. It was like, wow, that was great. I needed that.
Yeah.
And you know, we would hang out at where you were living.
Yeah, we went to, pool, but first we went to Santa Cruz.
Yeah, Santa Cruz.
For 4th of July.
We talked so much.
Isn't that interesting? We've gone to the beach on 4th of July. Well, last year we came to San Diego.
Yeah, we came to
San
Diego.
But we weren't on a beach. We were riding bikes.
We were always in a beautiful place.
Yes.
So we've always had a great
time. So that first year we're in Santa Cruz. And again, it's like a long conversation.
Oh my God.
So long that we didn't move positions. At all. And Ashley was tan on one side, and I was tan on the opposite side.
Literally. We didn't move at all.
For hours.
For hours.
And it just, the time just...
We didn't even notice like, people around us. Like time.
The conversation just flowed, and I think that day was when the conversations got deeper, because you know, we talked a lot about like family, spirituality. Yeah.
It was funny because we always tell people that we very much tested the waters, because we had never been exposed to talking in depth about, you know, like spiritual awakenings, or like, you know, things
what went on in our own mind.
I mean, like talking to God and what that's like, and so we kind of like that day we're like, yeah, you know, this has happened, and it was like, oh really, like my family too. And that was it. Like that was where we were like free for all. Like, let's just talk about it all, because we very much needed that. I think that since then we've also met other people that are very open about those things, that talk about it, but we had to kind of like step out of our comfort zone with each other and be able to like feel comfortable to talk about
that. Was also the day where I was driving back home to San Jose, and I was making a left on Hope Street, and you were like, you live on Hope Street? I'm like, no.
Oh my goodness. And then literally like months after,
2 months later,
she's like, you would not believe where I'm living right now. And she freaking lived on Hope Street.
Yeah.
Like, I knew it. Just when you get intuitive like visions like that, and you don't even know the visions, like I in that moment swore up and down you lived on Hope Street.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, well I guess never mind. And then, of course, she ended up living in Hope Street.
But before Hope Street, we had a pool day at my apartment.
Yeah.
And that's when the idea of the channel came up.
Yes. I have, excuse me, we obviously have always wanted to create content, and we have been doing that kind of on our own and figuring out like our own flow and what we do as a career, like separately.
Yeah.
But every time we had conversations, they were epic. Like they were very much like full of growth and full of like love and full of like healing, and because of that we were like, we have great conversations, like these
we need to record though.
These are the things people like want to talk about or should talk about. And I think it was something that we wanted to like share with the world. Like, these conversations don't just happen on camera.
No.
In fact, like a lot of the better conversations happen off camera, and we're, damn it, we should just put cameras everywhere, which will most likely happen one day. But we want to get you guys to understand and encourage you guys to understand that these types of conversations should be happening with your friends.
Yeah.
And they're not common. And we didn't have these types of conversations with anyone until we met each other.
Exactly.
And that doesn't seem fair. You know, I think that the conversations you have with the people you hang around with the most determine how you feel, determine the life that you live, and like, they should be epic conversations.
Yeah, they should be healing, they should be growth, they should be empowering, where both parties leave feeling good.
Totally.
As opposed to one feeling like, well, I didn't even get to say anything, or you know what I mean, like. Yeah.
or like competitive. I think
Yeah.
that like, you know, what was cool is that obviously we're different. We grew up different. We had different upbringings. We have different experiences. Like our ages are different. We're so different. But at the end of the day, it wasn't an ego. It wasn't
No.
like, well, I have this and I know this. It was like, oh wow, you know this too. Like you
Yeah.
got across. You know, God gave you this message too through
Yeah.
your own journey, through your
Yeah.
own way. Like it was exciting and not like egotistical. It wasn't like
It was refreshing.
yeah,
Because
totally was.
I hadn't ever had. I mean, I love my friends, and you know, I've gotten to certain conversations with them, but like never as in depth as I had since when I met Ashley.
And same.
Yeah.
I mean,
And it was comfortable.
yes.
Yeah.
And that's super important. I love that you brought that up. Like the comfort of being able to be yourself
Yeah.
was like really what has us still being the friends that we are. We
Yeah.
don't have to hide like any part of who we are. Excuse me. To the point where when we were in public, we're like, you're kind of acting a little crazy in public. Maybe I shouldn't do this, but that's the beauty of it. Like we get to be 100% ourselves. Whether it's like a great day, whether it's like I'm not doing so well and I need some like intuitive advice, or I'm doing great and I want to share that with you. It's not like, oh, she's doing great. It's like, yeah, we're doing great. We're about to get that energy. Or it's like, I'm feeling great. And then it's like, oh, really? Because I'm not feeling so great.
Yeah.
But then we get to help each other through letting ourselves be ourselves and not trying to change ourselves.
Yeah.
And through doing that, through being in an environment that cultivates that, then you do want to change and you do end up transforming. And so that's been, we're not the same people we were.
No, when we met.
At all.
No.
But we continue growing, and I
Yeah.
think that that's what's super cool about it.
So then we start filming, but
Yes.
we're in two different gyms, so we have to like figure out where we're gonna film. So
Yes.
we tried. I think we did my apartment a few times.
Yeah, we did.
We did balance float
We
a
did
few
do balance
times.
float.
We did outside with the cars driving by.
Oh
one
my
time.
gosh, we had the Starbucks.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then
Yes.
eventually, she ended up leaving that gym and coming to the gym I was working at because
Yes, I
it
fell in
just
love
was
with
easier
them.
to be
Yes.
under the same roof.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
And then the next thing we know, we're moving in
Which we
together.
have done a video on that, right? How
Did we?
Yes, how we ended up moving there. We did.
Okay.
I don't remember which video, but we do. I'll try to tag it in this video, to link it,
Okay.
not tag it.
Yeah.
But we do talk about how that ended up happening, which was
Yeah.
absolutely miraculous.
Yeah.
And like, I was definitely looking for a place to live on my own, and it just was like, well, it's more expensive to live on your own in the Bay Area than to have a roommate.
Yeah.
And I literally, like, instantly thought of Ronnie. I couldn't think of anyone else. Like, I would not live with anyone unless it was someone that I knew would just be fun to live with and someone that I knew mirrored me. And, like, I was always hanging out with her anyway. And we were working together, so it was like...
She sent me a screenshot of an or a condo or something, and we hadn't discussed it at all. I just got a text message with the screenshot, and I'm like, okay, what are you trying to say?
It's funny, like, and this is what happened. It wasn't like I thought about her being my roommate and then I sent it. I literally was looking for places for myself.
Yeah.
And nothing was working. Like, I even applied and she was like, oh, sorry, like, we gave it to someone else before you, like, applied too late. And I was like, what the hell? Mind you, my friend actually came to live with me.
Oh, yeah.
And then ended up going back. We're not going to talk about that. But point is, like, this girl that was helping me out sent me a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. She's like, oh, well, I have a 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo. If you find a roommate, you can do it. And I was like, but I'm looking for a 1-bedroom, 1-bath. And then I was like, okay, well, like, if I have to live with someone, like, Ronnie's the one I'm going to live with. And so I sent it to her, and then...
The rest is history.
Literally, we've lived together ever since.
Yeah.
And it was divine. It was totally meant to be.
Divine.
And then we decided to move to San Diego because our lease was up.
Yeah.
And
we both knew that we weren't going to re-sign
Yeah,
there. Like, we
totally.
both intuitively felt that, and we talked about it. And that's where, like, I think it's also important with friendships is you have to have open lines of communication.
Yes.
No matter what kind of relationship you're in.
No.
It could be friendship, roommate,
Family.
your significant other. You always have to have open lines of communication because otherwise you keep harboring feelings.
Yeah.
But we, at a point, I don't remember when, but had that discussion where we both were like, you know, I don't see us staying here when it's time to resign, you know.
We were
And
like, what do you want to do? And then we planned a trip because I had always been inclined to live in Southern California, and the Bay Area obviously taught me so much, and I loved it, but the weather I just couldn't do it anymore.
me either.
And she was like, well, have you been to San Diego? And I was like, no, but I keep hearing about San Diego. What's up with that? And then she was like, well, let's plan a trip. And then we planned a trip, which ended up ended up being on the 4th of July.
The week of 4th of July.
And the rest was history again. We obviously picked San Diego. Is beautiful if you've been to San Diego, you know.
Yeah. It was between like LA and San Diego, and the universe kept us in San Diego longer that week.
Yes. Yes, it did.
And
it was worth
it.
We loved it.
Yep.
And when we went to LA too, although we had a good time, it was like the traffic was crazy. We were like, we already know where we want to live. It's not LA, and then it worked out. It fell into place, and now, like we said in our last couple videos, we are in the same couch, but in a different place,
different city.
And I guess with this video, it's like you understanding, getting to know us more, because we literally have made so many videos and haven't even told you guys how we knew each other. Like, are they related? Are they friends? Where do they know each other? You know. And so that's basically how our friendship started, but also how very much the universe is on your side when it comes to you deciding to have better people around you.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that the people you love, you don't love anymore.
Exactly.
I love my friends that I grew up with. I still very much have them in my life. Same with Ronnie. But there's just, when you grow and you evolve and you heal, there are certain conversations you need to have.
Yes.
Certain things you need to be able to express, because you're becoming your true authentic self.
Yeah.
And you need to be around someone that's also becoming their true authentic selves, or already is. And that way you can be yourself even more, and then like talk about these things that you've always really felt but haven't felt comfortable to talk about.
Exactly. And you also you reach a certain level too where you need your friends, when you're on that same kind of journey, to hold you accountable so you don't slip backwards. And that's one of the things I'm grateful for, because you know, you've done so well for yourself in sharing just you and your truth, and I've been doing it but slower. But she motivates me to continue doing it. Yeah, so it's like I can't fall back, because she's not going to be dragging me. I have to carry my own weight.
Yes. Oh, that's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes. But you know what? That's what's amazing too, because we offer that to each other. Like, I wouldn't have even been here if it weren't for me being an independent trainer. Like, I had to be inspired to do that. And like I said, that moment where you were like, oh, hey, I have some clients, was like confirmation that I was in the right place and that I had to continue walking that path. And so I believe very strongly that friends, in their own successes and in their own transformations and feeling better, should inspire you to do that for yourself.
Exactly.
And some days I'm not the best. Some days I'm not doing so well. But if I have someone there that's like, okay, what's up? Let's talk about it. Let's heal. Let's get through it and grow through it. Then I'm most likely to like, okay, I'm good. Next, like, let's now have some fun. It's easier when you have that support, and that support is not someone that's personally attached to you in a way that's like draining, or a way that's like, oh, you're not doing well, I'm sorry. Like, we don't pity each other, we help each other, and we support one another. And I think that that's what friendship is. And
we don't take things personal either. Like, we respect each other's space, and if we are individually having certain days, we know that, okay, I'm just gonna be in my room all day, but it's not like, oh, did I do something wrong? Like, you know, we understand.
It's personal for the person.
Exactly.
Not for us.
Exactly.
Excuse me. I keep burping.
So we'll end on that
note. Be yourself. Find people that love you for being yourselves. And
find people you resonate with.
Yes.
And be open to it.
Totally. And
I don't like that saying no new friends, because I love my new friends.
I know. But now I'm like, no new friends. Just kidding. No. It's true. Like, be open to having people come into your life as you grow, because they're going to mirror your growth, not your past.
Exactly.
And that's what's great. Like, we don't mirror each other's past, we mirror each other's growth, and that's why we continue ascending.
Yep.
And we're proud of our ascension, and we understand that it's not about levels or about where we're at. It's about us being in our own path,
Yep.
and then having someone that's on their own path that just so happens to like hang out with you. Like, that's what's fun about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we love you. Thank
We
you for
love
watching.
you. Thank you.
Yes, now you know it's for real. Bye.